For these be the days of vengeance, giving all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai Shem Kakodash. This is Luke 21, verse 22. For these be the days. You know what? Let me start at the 20th verse. Luke 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. If you go to commentary on Luke 21, verse 20, Luke 21, verse 22, and I went to it, I'm not going to go to it and show you, but I was just reading through the commentary on Bible Hub, and one commentary takes you to Daniel chapter 9, verse 26 and 27, which you all should be familiar with, in which the Christians say that that's talking about the 7-year tribulation period, which they don't. The Christians are a bunch of dummies. They don't understand this. They don't understand. Just like it says in Daniel 12, verse 10, none of the wicked shall understand. So they're saying there's a great rapture and it's getting ready to come. We're going to be raptured and some's going to be left behind and all that nonsense. But that's talking about this time period right here in Luke, the 21st chapter. But well, let me keep reading. It says, see, we're giving you the mysteries. It says, 20th verse again, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. And by the way, Luke 21, as well as Matthew 24, as well as Mark 13, are talking about two events. The siege during the year 70 AD, which really started from 66 all the way up until 73 to 74 AD. I think Masada was taken down in either 73 or 74 AD. So it wasn't any one year, but we always used the year 70. That was a key year. So Luke 21, Mark 13, and Matthew 24 are two separate events. The siege of Jerusalem, 70 AD, key year, and the end of this destruction. So you can't say, well, Matthew 24 is just talking about this time. No, it's talking about two events. Get that through your head. Anyway, it says, 20th verse again, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation therefore is nigh. So when the Roman armies led by Titus came in, and there was the main general which was an Israelite, Alexander. Damn, I can't think of his full name. It'll come back to me. Somebody can put it in the comment section. I did videos on it. Apostle Gabar, Apostle Aramab did videos on it. Julius Alexander, and he had a third name, which he was raised up as an Alexandrian Jew or Israelite from Alexandria, born in Alexandria, Egypt, and became a top general to really assist Titus, because Titus, when you go to the history, Titus didn't have the war experience. So the real leader of that was Julius Alexander, and I forget the third name, but somebody's going to put it in the comment section. I mean, I can look it up, but I'm not going to do that. and he was the real leader, but the man that took the credit was Titus, the son of Vespasian. So let me read the 20th verse again. And this is a fulfillment of not only Daniel 9, but also Ezekiel 25. And this proves that this is the connection. You use these two precepts to know that the Romans were nothing but Edomites. It says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation therefore is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea, which is Yahweh, flee to the mountains. And they fled into the interiors of Africa, and they fled up into Europe. Because you had Israelites living up in Europe, living in Egypt, you had a major community in Egypt. So one of the first places that you hit on the continent is Egypt. You have Egypt, the land of Mizraim. You have the so-called Sudan, which is south of Egypt. And they were familiar with Egypt. They're not the parents of our Lord fleeing Egypt, because they were Israelites living in Egypt. It was big communities. And they moved further west. It says, 21st verse, Luke 21 verse 21, then let them which are in Judea, or Yahweh, flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries outside of Jerusalem enter therein too. Because if you come into the land, you're going to be put to death. For these be the days of vengeance, keyword vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Now there was 2 times where the Edomites got vengeance on us, really 3. And the first time is when the Babylonians took down Judah. So this is the second time. When Titus came in, this is the second time that they took vengeance on us. And the third time is from out of Spain, where Columbus came over here. So they really, exacted vengeance upon us really 3 times. 23rd verse. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be a great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. So you have Israelites literally all over the place. There's a gigantic, humongous number of Israelites in the continent of Africa. Mainly on the west coast, from the uttermost north of Africa to the South Africa. A lot of South Africans. You have our Israelites. You have this guy, Jonathan Butler, Doja Cat, and many others that were Israelites came out of Africa. So you can't, if a person said, I'm from South Africa, oh, you a Hamite. No, you can't say that. You got to consider the man's spirit. Because we were literally, 24th verse, led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, the Edomites, which are the Romans, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Now somebody asked a question to Apostle Rhyme Lob, and he did a response to the question. Someone said, what does it mean until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled? Well, they've been in the land, and they're still in the land to this day. So from the time of 70 A.D. up until this time, they're still in the land. So they're going to be pushed out of the land. They're going to be blasted out of the land. See, these Israelites, these, what's the guy, he recently died. There was a number of Israelites that went back there in the 70s, 69, 70, up until now. And they don't deal with the Messiah. So they really don't understand what's going on. They don't belong in that land. They're going to get blasted out unless the Most High have mercy on them. But anyway, let's come back to the 22nd verse, Luke 21, verse 22. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. So I mentioned when Babylon took down Judah, that Esau was involved in it. That was part of the vengeance. So now when you go to Ezekiel 25, verse 12, it says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because that Edom, which are the Romans back in the day, that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance during the time of the siege of the Babylonians, and they physically took us down during the time of the Roman Empire. Didn't I just read in Luke 21, these are the days of vengeance? So these Senate, a lot of these Roman leaders knew that they were the Edomites. They knew that they were Edomites. They were in cahoots with the Herodian dynasty and Edomites. And you remember, you had a lot of Edomites in our land during the time of Yahushua and during the time of the siege by the Romans. As a matter of fact, you had Edomites fighting side by side against the Roman Edomites because they were looking to be saved. They were looking to be delivered by the hands of the Most High by fighting side by side. That's in the history. Another thing, Hyrcanus, he converted Edomites to practice the laws, statutes, and commandments. So a lot of them actually thought they were, we say the Kazakhs. We speak about Kagan Bullen, if I'm saying his name right. The Kagan, he converted his people, which were in the Caucasus, to following the laws, statutes, and commandments. So it didn't just come from the Kazakhs. You had Edomites that were living among the Israelites that were practicing the laws, statutes, and commandments. These so-called Jews that you see today in these so-called Jewish communities, they either come from two, two ways of life. The Kazakhs or the Edomites that stayed down in the land of Edom. It said, thus saith the Most High, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah. Because who was left when the Babylonians took down Israel? It was Judah, the kingdom of Judah. The same thing in the Roman Empire, the kingdom of Judah, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. You had some of the tribes from the northern kingdom that came back amongst Judah, but for the most part, it was Judah, Benjamin, Levi. It said, by taking vengeance, there goes the vengeance. So when the Romans were taking us down, they were taking us down for payback. When we had them in the slavery during the time of King David, King Solomon, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them, the Israelites. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom. For what reason? Because of what Edom did to us on 3 occasions, and will cut off man and beast from it, ultimately by the nuclear destruction, and will make it desolate, that's America, from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. Now you have a ancient Dedan, Teman and Dedan, but these are their descendants came to America and went around the world to Europe and so forth. So he's going to get them that way. 14 verse, Ezekiel 25 verse 14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hands of my people Israel. So the Most High is going to use Israel to come against the Edomites. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Most High, because when the kingdom is established, Edomites will be slaves again. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.